Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. So, this year, creativity will never be the same. We all know why. AI adoption skyrocketed, massively adopted, and our creative industries are actually being disrupted, right? So, I've been thinking that because of the massive disruption, I think it's time to think about our future trajectory for human creativity. And this is an exploration that I would like to suggest. So come with me and let's see how we can actually find human creativity in this massively disrupted creative industry. This exploration will be guided by me. I'm the co-founder of KASTL Creative Agency. So you can think about my presentation as being like a presentation about should we use AI, should we not use AI? It's absolutely not the case. I've been using AI since 2020 for a creative project. I actually been using AI and OpenAI since 2020 when we needed, back in the time, to use token to get access to OpenAI. So I'm totally using it, but you know, the way you're going to use it can be slightly different. We have many different options, and it's time to reflect now and to think about that. So, first question I would like you to ask to yourself, for what purpose am I using my creativity? So for this exploration, I'm going to explore two different options of using creativity. So first option, it's an option where we're going to use AI creative engines and predictive algorithm to be more rapid, more efficient, and more cost-effective, right? So you're going to generate images, maybe generated upfront images by AI engines, and then you're going to post them on social media. The algorithms are going to work, they're going to target the audience, they're going to feedback loop some information. The AI is going to tweak the image to fit these feedbacks, and it's going to be an ongoing loop where humans completely disappear. And what is most important is that the sense disappear because the machine is feeding herself constantly and is feeding an audience that is completely following the machine. So there is a nonsense here. So you might be actually using this option, but first, what you're gonna need to do is to have a first stage, and this is the option 2 that we're gonna explore. The option 2 is about aligning ourselves with our goal. What does that mean? This is what I'm going to explain to you. So we're going to be actually creating a strategy with humans. We're going to create inclusive system design to support impacts or purpose. And this, you need to have this first step in order to avoid to lose completely control on your creation and on your assets and on the sense making, actually. So let's keep control. Let's not lose it. And this is actually what we've been trying to do in our agency. So we are a guild of impact-driven experts. So there is a big trend talking about impacts, right? Everyone is talking about impacts. We don't really know why exactly. For us, having an impact or purpose will guide us and will allow us to align our view with ourselves and with our audience. So we're gonna, in this case, avoid to lose control on our creativity and have this spiral, doom spiral of AI created by AI, by feedback loops, and etc., etc. And this is very dystopian. So what we need to do is to align, and what is important is that you might be noticing right now some AI specialists warning us, talking about alignment. In our creative industries that have been disrupted, we need to talk about alignment and to find where this alignment is actually lying in our process and protocols of creations. So we are a Guild of Impact-Driven Experts, and what we do is long-term strategy, Web3 design system, and creative direction. So let's continue this exploration of the option 2, and let's try to make sense and alignment. So I will suggest you to follow me on one actual case, that is a regenerative DeSci case. And for this case, actually, we've been asked by our client to reach one very big goal, which is support biodiversity preservation. Maybe you know that we are actually right now undergoing a 6th mass extinction. What is a 6th mass extinction? It's basically the collapse of all our biodiversity, and our species are actually disappearing at a very, very high pace. Mass extinction, we know them, dinosaurs disappear because of them. So the impact and the goal is very high, right? And they ask us actually to support this goal by using advanced genomic science. The advanced genomic science is the science of sequencing the DNA and storing those data in order to preserve the knowledge, this common knowledge of our humanity and our planet. And they also ask us a third point. They ask us to use blockchain protocols and blockchain technology to actually reach those impacts. So step 1 of this case, what we did is actually to gather the right experts around the table. Why is it so important to gather experts, and also, very important, to gather people that are completely different, but people who are following the same goal, people who got the same alignment. So for this case, we gathered scientists, artists and curators working in different localities, creating and storytelling about different lands, stewardships, culture. We gather also local communities. Those people are actually living on the land where the animals are living, where the species that are disappearing are trying to be preserved. We gather also zoo, very important structure also. We can criticize them, but they are also sharing the same goal. And we gather, obviously, Web3 wizards, so developers, system designers, strategists, and so forth and so on. So what we discover around this table, around this transversal, transdisciplinary table, is that our different people were actually trying to reach the same goal. So we got the local communities who were trying to preserve. They were giving the samples of the animals or of the plants to the scientists, right? The scientists were actually sharing the same goal. Still, they were sequencing the different species. Once they got the DNA and the samples, they were storing those samples in the data storages. And then third parties, like industries, were fetching all these data storages in order to create cosmetics, create new drug treatments, create GMOs, for instance, to feed us, right? So actually what we discovered by listening everyone is that the DNA sequencer were okay with the goal, and they were okay by storing the data in the data storages. The data storages were okay to keep them, and the third parties were okay completely to fetch the library of data of DNA in order to create a bunch of lucrative elements and products, right? what we can see here is that the local communities who are actually stewarding the lands don't get any benefits of this system. So the system wasn't broke. The system, and this is still the case, the system is inefficient to be aligned with one goal, which is preserve biodiversity, right? We can preserve all the data we want. If we cannot reintroduce those animals, those species in our lands because they have been destroyed, there is no point. If our third industries, if our big companies are actually creating beneficial products, it's okay, but they should be also paying back in order to preserve what is giving them the mean to make money. So this is all about alignment. So we found this like kind of problem or leftover, right? So this is very simple, a very simple scheme. But what we are aiming now, we know, step 3, is that we need to have this feedback loop. We need to have this circularity in order to reach the impact. And this is what is important in this protocol, is the capacity of a creative team to actually align, create the goals, and be able then to unfold all the different tasks, creative tasks that we need to create in order to reach this goal. So we're gonna by finding this, we are all aligned, and then we're gonna start to do the creative direction with some artists, local artists. We're gonna do some creative direction and curation to create the video, the social media assets, events, exhibition, campaigns, the DApp that we're going to need to create also in order to enable the circularity, right? All of those tasks can actually be done by using AI tool and generative tool. There is no problem at all, because we first created the strategy that enable our team to be aligned with human goals. And this is the distinction between just using AI to get profits and using AI to actually aim for a different purpose. Very important here, because we can't keep on going in the way creative industries and creative agencies were replying to brief from clients willing to do more profit. It's going to create this feedback loop that we saw before. What we need now is to reach alignment in order to avoid to lose all our jobs and dive into a very dystopian nonsense industry. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I was able actually to open your mind to some different way to create, and certainly create with AI, but not against AI and not without the humanity. Thank you very much.